Okay, so let's get into a really wild what-if scenario. We're taking one of the most powerful characters ever created, and we're dropping him into two totally different, totally established universes. But we're not just asking who'd win in a fight. No, no, no. We're asking something way bigger. What happens when a completely new kind of power enters a system that has absolutely no way to comprehend it?
And that, right there, is the big question we're tackling today. Forget about tactics for a minute. Forget about who's allied with who. What happens when one guy shows up who plays by a completely different set of physical and, frankly, philosophical rules? Let's see what happens when the entire rulebook gets tossed right out the window. So, let's meet our two, let's call them our cosmic laboratories. On one side, you've got a galaxy run by the Force, this mystical energy field with its endless tug-of-war between the light side and the dark side. And on the other, you've got the brutal warrior culture of the Yautja, where your worth is measured by a 10,000-year-old code of the hunt. Two super rigid systems, and they're about to get a shock they are not ready for. All right, so let's kick things off with the first, most obvious problem everyone ran into. It's the simple, biological fact of who Superman is and how that fact makes pretty much every weapon and every single combat strategy completely useless from the second he appears. See, the thing you've got to get about Superman is that his power isn't magic, it's biology. This photon nucleic effect is really just a fancy way of saying his Kryptonian cells are like tiny hyper-efficient solar panels. You put them under a yellow sun and they just power up. It's not a skill he has to practice, it's an automatic biological reaction. And in universes built on spiritual training and ancient traditions, that idea is just totally alien. And this right here just lays out the core difference perfectly. For Superman, power is just a state of being. It's a built-in, absolute constant, kind of like gravity. But for a Jedi or a Sith, the Force is a path of becoming. It takes discipline, spiritual connection, a lifetime of choices. One is physics, the other is philosophy. And when these two clashed, well, physics didn't blink. I mean, just look at this list. These aren't just any old weapons, right? We're talking about the absolute peak of technology and tradition in these universes. Blasters, the go-to for armies. Plasma casters, a Yautja's signature tool. And of course, the lightsaber. Every single one, from the most basic to the most legendary, was about as useful as a wet noodle. And this one moment sent an absolute shockwave through the entire Jedi Order. The lightsaber, their symbol, their most powerful tool, a weapon that can carve through fortress doors, just hit his skin and fizzled. In that one instant, 1,000 years of combat philosophy, poof, gone, irrelevant. Okay, so once everybody figured out that, hey, we literally can't hurt this guy, the problem just leveled up. Big time. He wasn't just a tactical problem on a battlefield anymore. He became a strategic crisis that threatened to unravel entire universes. He was the ultimate wild card. Think about it. In these huge cosmic chess games, like the Clone Wars or the rigid honor system of the Yautja, he's the one piece that doesn't follow any of the rules. You can't predict him, you can't control him, and you absolutely cannot ignore him. He didn't just break the rules of the game, he flipped the whole board over. And you can see right here how both of these major powers just completely scrambled. The Jedi and Sith, they tried fighting him head-on, and when that blew up in their faces, they got desperate, forming these shaky, weird alliances and fast-tracking secret plans. The Yautja, well, they tried to make him fit their worldview with a ritual hunt, but when he refused to play their game, it triggered a full-blown identity crisis for their entire culture. And that crisis, it led to this, just bone-chilling ultimatum from the hunter Guan Thu. He gave Superman 3 awful choices: fight his champions and die an honorable death, run and be hunted like an animal forever, or refuse and just watch as he glasses an entire ecosystem from orbit just to prove a point. It's this twisted, no-win scenario, all designed to force Superman to play their violent game. The Sith, of course, had their own scheme, a super clever, multi-layered trap on Mustafar. They had the perfect lure, a custom-built cage, and a monster juiced up on dark side mojo. But Superman's way out? Absolutely brilliant. He didn't try to punch his way out. He flew to the very edge of space and used basic orbital mechanics to turn himself into a human meteor. He beat their magic with physics. And all of this brings us to his real weapon. And let me tell you, it's not his strength, it's not his heat vision, it's his restraint. It's the moment he demonstrates that true ultimate power isn't about the ability to destroy, it's having the strength to choose not to. So,
How did he prove it? Well, the stage was set when the Bad Bloods showed up. These guys are basically exiled Yautja who threw the honor code out the window. They hunt the weak for sport. And when they attacked Yautja Prime, it created this insane situation where Superman had to defend the very same warriors who were trying to kill him just a little while earlier.
So these renegade Bad Bloods show up, and they don't just send one ship, they bring an entire fleet. How many warships are we talking? 20. A full-on armada ready to just obliterate the planet.
So you've got this massive fleet, and against them, Superman goes up, all by himself. And how long does it take him to deal with all 20 of those ships? Just 8 minutes. 8.
But here's the number that changed everything. The one that blew everyone's minds. While taking apart that entire armada, how many people did he kill? 0. Not a single casualty.
And you have to imagine what this looked like to the Yautja watching below. Their entire culture, for 10,000 years, was built on the kill. And suddenly, they're watching this being so unbelievably powerful that violence was literally unnecessary for him. He was so confident in his own strength that mercy wasn't a weakness, it was a tactic.
So then, he goes to the Yautja elders and basically lays it all out for them. He challenges their entire way of life. He tells them, hey, why don't you use your skills to hunt real threats, galactic tyrants and slavers? He warns them that a culture based only on killing is doomed to stagnate, and that true power, the supreme power, is shown through restraint. So, in the end, his visit wasn't just a bunch of fights, was it? It was more like an ideological earthquake, and the aftershocks, they would change these universes forever.
And you can see the results right here. The Yautja Grand Conclave, they actually reached a historic compromise. Earth was permanently declared off-limits, they started allowing non-lethal training, and they actually began to consider a new path. These are massive changes. And at the same time, back in the other galaxy, whispers started in the Jedi Temple about a third path. One that wasn't about light versus dark, but about preserving life above all.
So at the end of the day, it didn't matter if he was in a galaxy far, far away or on Yautja Prime. His real victory wasn't military, it was philosophical. He forced everyone, Jedi, Sith, and Predator alike, to completely rethink what power even is. He didn't just win the game, he shattered the board itself.
And that's what we're left with, right? In these universes built on spiritual energy and brutal traditions, what really happens when the ultimate power doesn't come from within, but from the simple, external light of a distant yellow sun? Turns out, it changes absolutely everything.